Greetings, this is Foundational Saints, and here we will be featuring ourselves. We will delve into 5 components within the journey of the Christian. It doesn't cover all aspects of our faithful journey, but I found these points interesting in Scripture. The first component covers humbleness or meekness. The second part covers visions or dreams. The third component covers confronting kings or leaders. The fourth component addresses persecution or trials, and the fifth part covers the third heaven correspondence. The context involves Christians within the New Covenant Church era. Part 1. Being humble or beloved. Christ begins his gospel with the Beatitudes and wants his followers to have the right attitude. Before covering end-time prophecy, Christ maintains this preference. Notice Matthew 23:12. And whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. The Apostle Peter would agree with this principle as he was taught by Christ. 1 Peter 5:6-7. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. This was actually my favorite component because it's the one we can personally control. However, humility is defined by God's perspective, not ours. The second component is experiencing visions or dreams. In the Old Testament, we understood that the Lord would deliver messages to his prophets in visions or dreams in Numbers 12:6. This continues within the New Testament era as the Apostle Peter quotes the prophet Joel during Pentecost in Acts 2:17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, says God, that I will pour out of my Spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. This would apply to men and women who would receive God's Spirit. It's important not to claim false visions. The third component is being brought before leaders. Christ predicted that his followers would be brought before the rulers of this world. Luke 21:12. But before all these things, they will lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons. You will be brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. This would continue even after the Apostle John, who lived up to the 90s AD. The fourth component is persecution or trials. A true Christian goes through trials and persecution. Once again, Christ tells us that persecution comes with the territory. John 15:20. Remember the word that I said to you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will keep yours also. Our attitude is to embrace the challenge and to look for the reward at the end. Notice what the Apostle James mentions. James 1:2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. It's important for ministers to address the leaders of the world, as we have seen throughout Scripture. They did it with boldness and faith. This is a hard thing to do because what follows is persecution. The fifth component is the third heaven correspondence. Now, the third heaven correspondence is primarily done through prayer. Also remember our conversion connects us with the team. Luke 15:10. Likewise, I say to you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Christ would know what's going on up there as he came from heaven. There may be times when we as Christians may have encountered an angel. Hebrews 13:2-3. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels. Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also. Other times, divine intervention comes into play, and the spirits or angels interact more. Perhaps that might be the case before the Messiah returns. It's important not to claim that the Lord has spoken to you when no such thing has occurred, and this also includes setting dates about his return, which is wrong. In conclusion, there are other components such as faith, commandment keeping, gifts of the Spirit, but within this study, I chose these 5 components. This concludes our series on foundational saints, covering some individuals within both testaments. Hope you enjoyed. Farewell.